call it that he should ride a motorcycle?
Yeah. I mean, these are all very good reasons to ride a motorcycle.
We were going to discuss what we've done with our bikes this week.
Ooh.
Have you done anything exciting with your bike this week, Matt?
Yes, I have. I've ridden it every day, to and from work.
Okay. Any tinkering?
No, not this week. No, because I don't have time during the week. I do that at the weekends, but I didn't do any last weekend, and I'm actually not planning on doing any this weekend.
Exciting stuff.
Sweet. Did you ride the Himalayan or the Guzzi?
I have ridden the Himalayan in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Today I've got the Guzzi. Yeah. Tomorrow, that's a decision for the morning.
Well, within the last week, I did my bike safe course with West Sussex Police, which was very good. I would recommend people to do that. It was very enjoyable.
What is that?
So, Bike Safe is a course run by the police on a voluntary basis.
Did you get caught doing something wrong? And they said you can do this voluntary course.
It's a stepping stone for advanced training. So you go and do your Bike Safe course. It costs £65. That part of that is a theory. So generally the day split in two. You have half the day, which is theory, where you discuss road positioning, hazards on the road, how you can prepare for that, and then the other half is just riding out with a police motorcyclist. But yeah, so I actually had 2 police motorcyclists with me and another guy, and it was really good. And we were on the western side of West Sussex, so closer to Chichester, I think, where there was actually some nice roads with fewer potholes than I'm used to. So it was a really nice ride out.
It's something that everybody who's done it speaks really highly of it. I mean, police motorcyclists are brilliant. They're kind of renowned, really, as the best in the world, aren't they? A lot of other police forces get them to train them. So if you've got them telling you how you're riding, there's no fault with it. Something I've been meaning to do thinking about doing for a little while, and haven't got around to doing it. But it's supposed to be well worth it.
I would definitely recommend doing it. I really enjoyed it, and the cops themselves are really nice and good to talk to, and it's quite interesting speaking to them because they say normally in everyday life no one really wants to interact with the police. Like, no one's happy to see a policeman come up to them, so they could actually just talk to us. And they're motorcyclists too, so they're really understanding. They kind of see things from a motorcyclist point of view. So it was really, really nice, and they're a really good bunch of guys. So I'd definitely recommend all of you to do it.
I actually had a police rider pull me over. This must have been in about 1981. I was pulled over by a police motorcyclist, and he said, "Don't worry, I just wanted to stop you to congratulate you on your riding." And I was, a youngster then, and I had a mate on the back, and it was raining, and I said, "Well, the reason I was riding so carefully and well is because I knew you were behind me."
Hilarious.
But there you go.
Yeah. How about you, Tristan?
I've done nothing to my motorbike because I do not own one. I haven't done anything to my car either.
Except get spark plugs.
That was a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
I got a spark plug socket stuck in it about a month and a half ago.
But potentially that's a good segue onto our subject for this week, which is discussing the benefits of riding versus driving a car. So that's why we've got Tristan in here, because at the moment he doesn't ride a motorcycle despite my incessant hassling for the last 5 or 6 years. So yeah, we were going to discuss the benefits of riding, why you would ride, what you might think about riding, or what puts you off deciding to ride. Yeah. So getting points of view from motorcyclists and non-motorcyclists, I think would be quite good.
Yeah, well, there's a slight bias on the motorcyclist side, but hey, that's not a problem.
No. So I think I don't ride at the moment. It's sort of like a twofold thing for me. Is one, it seems like a lot of hassle doing a whole nother set of testing. I already can drive a car, and I just can't be bothered to do the CBT and then have to go ahead and do all the other side of my big bike license test, because it took me ages to get the car license.
Are you naturally a lazy person?
Yes.
I did wonder. I mean, my answer to that is it's like I don't. It's such a short thing to go through for such a massive amount of benefit.
Yeah.
That if you really have that desire to ride, then you would just do it.
Yeah.
If you haven't got that real urge to ride, then you're probably using that as an excuse because you don't really want to ride.
Also, the other thing is all the gear, the equipment. Yeah. I get very claustrophobic and very hot very quickly. So when I did my CBT, so I did all the morning part, and then by about mid-afternoon, mid-morning, just before going out on the road part, I was so hot, I just couldn't focus on riding the bike anymore. Because you're starting to just do all the skill, like the basic skill stuff, like indicating, manoeuvring, lifesaver checks, that sort of thing. And then I thought, I can't concentrate in this car park. I don't want to go out onto, and where the test centre is for that is at that busy crossroads in Worthing. I didn't want my first experience of motorcycling on a road to be a point where I was incredibly uncomfortable, couldn't focus, and then I just started thinking, I'm definitely going to be killed by a car if I go out of this.
I mean, that's fair enough. Did you have a full face helmet on?
Yeah, so full face helmet, jacket, and it was raining that day as well, so I had all the waterproof stuff on the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, I always wear I wear a helmet that you can convert to full face.
Yeah, the flip up.
Yeah. But rarely I do that because when I'm in a full face helmet, I feel like I might as well be in a car.
Yeah.
I love open face helmet, but if you do have a slight, claustrophobic tendency, then go for an open face.
Yeah.
And as far as clothing is concerned, if you get hot, wear less of it.
Yeah.
Or wear the breathable stuff, or I don't know.
I think that's the key for me, is having the right gear, because so many people say, I don't want to get wet, I don't want this, I don't want that. I've experienced not having the right gear, and I've experienced having the right gear. So when I had my Furigan gear and it was waterproof and nice and warm, riding through in November in the pouring rain was fine because I was dry, I was warm, it wasn't a problem. And I think it comes up in theory and in friggin' road safety and everything, is you have to be comfortable. So in that example, you probably should have had mesh gloves, a mesh jacket, thinner gear, like Matt says, an open face helmet, and it transforms your comfort. Then that's not even something you're thinking about, because you were spending all your time being concerned with being too hot and uncomfortable, where you can't even think about what you're trying to do with the bike. And that's a massive point. Like, the amount of people I speak to who drive a car and the main things they don't want to do is like be riding in the rain and this and that, and it's another test. But like, if you are comfortable, it makes a massive difference. So I think we need to get Tristan to have another go at that.
It's not that I don't enjoy it. Like when I rode little scrap around the car park, and it's great. I love.
We might have to cut in a little clip of you and Little Scrapper.
Me and Little Scrapper.
It was great. And I saw in your eyes at that moment the joy that I have on a daily basis riding a motorcycle, and that's what I want to share with everyone here, is that joy of riding a motorcycle. And with people like Matt in the company now, like, I feel like that's a common thing that I have with other people, and I want you to have that as well, because there's nothing greater than getting on a bike and zooming off down the road. So you've discussed this discomfort, the hassle of another test. Are there any other things that put you off riding?
Are there anything else that puts me off? I think there's an element of fear in it as well, because when you work in a motorcycle company like this, there's quite a lot of people that come in the mornings with a story of, this is how I was nearly killed this morning by a car, and quite a lot of people who've worked here who've got hurt riding as well. Guys shattered their pelvis because they hit a lamppost when they came off, or broken shoulders, that sort of thing. So I think there's an element of fear in it as well, of not wanting to be.
Yeah, that's fair enough, and I get that, and I've hurt myself in the past, but I was still in a cast and on crutches, and I got straight back on a bike, and the fear element, in some ways you could say that's just another excuse because you don't really want to do it. Just think about it. It's a question of whether you're a glass half full or half empty person. If you look on positive side of everything, you will ride a bike. If you don't, then you won't. If you think to yourself, well, I could step out, a bus could run me over tomorrow, then you'll ride a bike.
That's true.
because anything can happen to anybody at any point, really. But looking for excuses, it does, establish that balance of whether you really want to or you don't, how you look at it.
But that's another reason why I did Bike Safe, because that's all about positioning. And they talk about the fact that if you roll off the throttle when you see a hazard, just dropping your speed by 2 or 3 miles an hour can make a massive difference to whether you hit a van or you don't. So, and that's why I want to do advanced rider training, because I want to be the best motorcyclist I can be and the safest whilst enjoying myself. So I think potentially from my point of view, the people who do plow into the back of a bus, I see motorcyclists on a daily basis driving in what I would consider an incredibly dangerous manner, too fast, too close behind people, not paying attention to hazards. So I kind of see statistics flying past me at 120 miles an hour, and I'm like, well, I can see why generally people think motorcycling is dangerous, and if you get on a bike, you're going to kill yourself, because if you ride like a spanner, you're probably going to get hurt.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, there are those people who ride very, very carefully, and as the expression says, shit happens. You can't get away from the fact that anything could happen to even the best riders in the most docile of situations. But that, it shouldn't stop you riding if that's what you want to do, really.
I think as well, it's building up to it. So like the little sessions we had riding around in the car park on a little scrapper, like do a bit more of that. When you do your CBT, let's gear you up. Let's get you the right stuff so that you're comfortable, if you wanted to do that. I know I'm very much but it's, and as I've probably said a million times, it's only because riding is the most enjoyable, wonderful thing I've ever done. And it's a great source of happiness and joy for me. And the daily commute to work is fun.
Yeah, I think that is the main point, is the amount of enjoyment likewise that that I get out of purely just being on two wheels and riding a motorcycle. The other benefits, such as being able to beat the traffic jams and the economy and everything like that, are add-ons. They're extra benefits. But for me, it's just a pure joy of riding a motorcycle. It's a feeling that you get. It's a buzz that you get. That if you like it, it's addictive. It's like a drug in some ways.
And it saves you money. It's a drug that saves you money. So, because and this is a stat that I looked up that I happen to have on my computer, but apparently car drivers spend 36 hours a year in traffic jams. And I don't know about you as a car driver, but when I'm in my car and I'm in a queue of traffic and I'm there for 20 minutes and I see a bike sail past, I'm just so jealous of that guy, because I'm normally that guy on a bike when the A27's at gridlock and someone's crashed their BMW, because they always do. I'm like filtering past and like having a wonderful time.
You are normally that guy who filters past me, because we're going to the same place.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I filter, but if I'm on a bike and in a traffic jam where there's not enough room to filter, I don't get frustrated or impatient, because I know at any opportunity, actually, I can just get past that car or those cars. If I'm in a car and I'm in a traffic jam, I'm the worst. I'm so impatient. Talk about road rage.
Yeah.
That it's just all over me. I just hate it. Absolutely hate it. But the other thing's about what you were saying about fear of, just going back to your fear of something happening. Fear and adrenaline is actually good for you. They say you should do something that scares you every day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Adrenaline. It's good.
Oh,
apparently.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Apparently it's good.
Yeah.
I think,
And sorry,
no, go for it.
riding a motorcycle apparently burns 400 calories an hour.
Now we're talking, because I am in need of burning 400 calories.
There you go. So it'll get you fit.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sitting in a car doesn't get me fit.
No, it doesn't. No, it gets you fat.
On that note, should we call it, I guess?
Call it that he should ride a motorcycle?
Yeah. I mean, these are all very good reasons to ride a motorcycle.
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of them. There's even from the, I mean, to me on a Sunday, you're bored. I never think, oh, shall I go out in the car? But to actually go out on the bike It becomes not only a mode of transport. It's a hobby.
Yeah.
It's a passion.
Yeah, I would never think, I'm just going to go out and quickly drive my 20-year-old Mitsubishi around for a little while.
In a traffic jam.
In a traffic jam.
There's so much more to it.
And the mental benefits. I don't know if you remember when we lived together, but like I would be furious. I'd have a bad day at work or something and come home and then get on my bike. And as soon as I'm on my bike and I'm pootling down the road, my mood is 100% better. It calms you down. It's so good for your mental health. Like, yeah, if I'm ever not happy, I can't be on my bike and angry.
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible.
No.
So it's mentally good for you. It saves you money. Petrol in the car. It used to cost me £40 a week to get to work in my car. It cost me £10 on my bike. Road tax is cheaper. Insurance is cheaper. You've got the initial cost of licensing and your CBT and your gear, but generally it's cheaper. It's better for you. It's physical exercise.
Yeah, I mean, as a balance, there are bikes out there that use more petrol than some cars, for sure. Just to be
VTR
balanced,
1000
just to be
Firestorm.
balanced. Yeah, I mean, there are some bikes that. And my KTM, when I had it, I'd lucky to get 40 miles a gallon out of that, and there are plenty of cars that will do 60 miles a gallon.
Yeah.
But generally, yes, cheaper.
I can't imagine Tristan on a Firestorm though, personally.
No, I can't either.
No.
Anything remotely sporty is not really my bag, I don't think.
Cool. I mean, should we call it there? Should we wrap it up?
Yes, I mean, conclusions: ride a bike.
I mean, the conclusion does seem to be ride a motorcycle because it's great.
At least take it a step further.
Yeah.
You can always back out, but if you don't get in, you'll never know.
I think as well, like, speak to the motorcyclists that you know. I don't think there's going to be a single motorcyclist who'll say, "Oh, don't get on a motorbike."
I've never met one that says don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's got to be something to that. And I think as well, it's one of those things that you can't explain to people how good it is. You can't say to someone, "This is great." Like, they have to experience it. Until you experience it yourself, you don't know. Cool. I think I'll stop waffling. Should we sign off?
Yeah.
Okay.
How do we do that?
Yeah. I haven't worked out. Thank you for watching us ramble on about motorcycling and its benefits for 15 minutes.
Amazing. This has been General Talk. I'm Grant. That's Tristan. And that's Matt. And we'll catch you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe and watch the other trash that we've put on YouTube.
Watch Scrap to Brap.
Or don't.
Or don't watch it. Don't watch it. It's terrible.